If you don't get a rock to that opening music, I don't know what's wrong with you. Hello, 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 everybody. I hope that you're doing absolutely wonderful and welcome to Leadership Live 2021, week 32. Week 32, 32. We have made it 32 weeks into the year 2021, and that in itself deserves a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm going to tell you what else deserves a round of applause today. Did you see? Boy, are those not some of the baddest, funkiest, funnest earrings you ever seen? I love them. Okay, so big shout out to Bobby Brown Mayo. Bobby made this because she made this. She made this and she made this. She made these. Hello, somebody. And I just love them. They're some of my favorites. They're so fun and funky. And so I am all about supporting small business, Black owned business, women owned business, and business of a boss. And Bobby Brown Mayo is just that. So, Bobby, thank you once again. There's another pair of earrings that I'm about to fight her to get. Um, but she already knows. So, Bobby, I hope you're watching. Because matter of fact, I'm gonna tag you so you make sure you watch. Mm-hmm. Because I want my other earring. But she makes such fun, such funky earrings. And here in the year 2021, the year 2020, people have been doing all kinds of incredible boss things. And these bosses, you know what else they are? They are leaders. Oftentimes, they are leaders. Really, they're always leaders. But the question is, are they functioning in their full leadership capacity? Not always. But this one right here, she is quite on it. Thank you once again, Bobby. And welcome to Leadership Live. For those of you all who are like, what is Leadership Live and why am I even watching this? Well, here it is. Leadership Live is the sharing of journeys, it's the sharing of experiences, it's the sharing of knowledge, it's the sharing of wisdom because knowledge plus experience gives you wisdom. And those things give us so many incredible lessons to learn from so that we can be more effective in our personal leadership journeys. Sometimes you just need to learn from the experiences of others to make yourself more incredible and more impactful. And who am I to be talking to you and to be talking to all of these incredible guests? I am Dr. Renita L. Webb. I am an educational leadership strategist. And what does that mean? That means that I work with aspiring and growing leaders to help them become more authentic in their leadership, to empower their fellowship. And yes, I said fellowship, not fellowship, their fellowship, and ultimately to have a greater, more lasting and just impressionable impact on the world. And I am also a veteran educator, having served grades kindergarten through college. I am a wife and mother of four kids. I birthed two and I own two. And that journey in itself led me to become the author of Stepmom Trials, Tribulations, and Triumphs. It editions 1 and 2. Such a fun story, such an honest story. It is authenticity at its finest. I am also the authoress While You Are Sleeping, the Perfect Children of All Ages book. I am a speaker, a trainer, a mentor, a mentee, a minister, and I am a queen, honey. Yes, a queen. I'm a queen and a queen. I am the current reigning Mrs. Black North Carolina, as well as the Elite Southern Charms North Carolina Ultimate Grand Supreme. And I am so excited about being with you and doing these interviews because in 2019, I did this for 52 weeks all by myself. I shared my leadership journey, but God tapped me on my shoulder once again and said, in 2021, you'll do it again with friends. So this gives me the opportunity to introduce you to some of my absolutely fabulous friends. Also to get a coaching session going. I feel like I'm coaching and I'm being coached at the same time because coaching is a passion of mine. And I love to work with people one-on-one. But in here, I get to be the one taught and the teacher. So it's amazing having that reciprocal relationship. But this week, now for 31 weeks, I kept good on what I said I would do. I said I was going to bring it to you some incredible leaders. And here in week 32, I am not disappointed once again. So I am going to bring this amazing, amazing woman into the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you LaVon Featherstone. One day I'm gonna have a studio audience and it's gonna be loud. It's gonna be thunderous. But here, this is what you get now. Hey, LaVon.
Hi. I just love it. You just have to love your energy. Oh, my goodness.
Look, this is probably a black or white situation. Either you love it or you hate it, or it is what it is. But it is who I am. So hey, I am so excited to have you with me. You all, I'm telling you all, this is one of those rare exclusives. Not everybody gets LaVon.
You starting trouble already?
Yeah, very much so. So you all consider yourselves lucky. And I hope you got your paper out. Hope you got your notes out. So I'm going to step out of the screen and LaVon, tell them about you and don't cheapen out and don't tell them the whole story. You tell them.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Dr. Renita, for having me here. So, like she said, I'm LaVon Featherstone. I am a serial entrepreneur. I am the owner of 5 businesses. I have helped several people launch and to establish and manage their companies. So, I have a publishing company, which is Samaj Publishing, LF Management Group, Featherstone Media Group, Kasai Books, and Women in Heartbeat of Community, which is a nonprofit organization to help women just like Dr. Renita, helping others move forward in their entrepreneurial tasks. And I am a 10-time author. I think that's enough for Dr. Renita. I think she'll be satisfied with those things.
Hold on, did you all hear how lackadaisical she was talking about all those things? So she said she owns how many? Not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 businesses. 5 businesses. And one of them happens to be a publishing house. Really? And one of those is a nonprofit organization. And how many books have you authored?
10.
Oh, that's just 10. And here I was excited about my little 3. But her 10 books, not one, not zero, but 1, 0, 10 books. Um, oh my. And you know what? I love a humble leader. I do. I do. I love a humble, awesome, dynamic, like nearly untouchable person who will just sit there and yeah, just 10 books. That's it. Um,
Troublemaker.
one of the many reasons why I love LaVon, as you all can see, this is a woman who has a quiet power. Please do not ever sleep on LaVon Featherstone. She knows the people, she knows how to make the things happen, and she gets it done. But our subject today, and what I am excited to talk to you about, is leading through life's fires. Leading through life's fires. We have experienced fires in life, and I think that if every one of you all who's watching today is honest with yourself and honest with us, you will admit that you too have experienced fires in life. And I mean, when I talk about fires, I talk about those things that come up, you didn't know they were coming. It's like, ooh, it's not little, not a spark in life. I'm talking about, ooh, like your whole house is on fire. And these things are, sometimes they happen and you don't know they're happening. You don't know why they happen. They happen out of nowhere. You find out later. You can't stop them. Or once you do, they've already consumed something. Even the smallest of fires consumes something. I mean, it's gone. And LaVon, I think that of the people that I know, you do this so fabulously. Because as you all see her humble, quiet power, she has done this through some situations that would have taken other people out. So, LaVon, I'll start with this. Can you think of a fire in your life that you've come up against? And with that fire, how did it shift you?
I would say that the greatest fire has been dealing with a chronic illness, which is lupus, autoimmune disease that just threw my life for a whirlwind about a decade ago. So I may wake up, have Dr. Renita's energy, and midday I'm ready to take a nap. So I think that's the greatest thing that has been a fire in my life. I actually started my first company um, 15 years ago. Next week will actually make 16 years. So in the midst of trying to start a business, the first few years are critical. And when you feel like I felt like I was launching and going somewhere, then I got hit with this illness. And I think that was the biggest fire. And I still, fight to extinguish that fire when it tries to come up, or try to maneuver and find a new way to be able to operate in the midst of the heat of dealing with a chronic illness on a day-to-day basis.
Wow. So LaVon, so you're going along, you're starting this business, and then you find out you have this illness. How long were you really dealing with it, even before you knew?
So I had been dealing with this since high school, but they never pinpoint what I was going on with me. But just like most people, you just push forward, you forge forward with what you want to do in life. You say, my thing has been adapt and adjust, or acknowledge and adjust. Acknowledge that something is going on and figure out how you could adjust to be able to accomplish the things that you want in life. Um, I graduated from college, worked 2 jobs most of college. Um, just continue to help people throughout the years. And, I think for me, helping and loving on people has been my medicine that has been able to keep me going. And so I know Dr. Renita mentioned earlier about me helping other people with their projects. And, I'm one of those people that I don't have to be part of the picture, but I can be the glue. She smiled because I always said I don't have to be part of the puzzle to be able to be the big picture, but I'd like to stand back and to see how everything come together. And you know, I guess having having to deal with multiple um, medical things, it allowed me to be comfortable in that, if that makes sense, being behind the scenes. Because if something does come up in the situation, I already know that the people that I'm working with, and I don't like the people to say that people are clients, the people that I'm working with to um, accomplish what they want, they'll still be able to do, and we'll still be able to see the big picture, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. So I'll ask you this question. Was there a time where you desired to be in the spotlight versus now where you're like, okay, I'm in the background, I'm good?
No, 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 no,
Yeah.
not at all, not at
Yeah.
all.
And so I would I would guess to say for someone who has never had a problem with, like, so I think about myself, let's be real. I've never had a problem being upfront. If I was jolted into the background, I don't know that that would have been that easy, even though I will say life has shown me opportunities to be in the background, and I realize how much I relish in that. So in dealing with the things, or the medical, just this medical issues alone, let alone life, we haven't even touched life, but medical issues alone, how did you find strength to be the support for others while desiring and sometimes flat out needing support for yourself?
Just knowing that it's bigger than me, just knowing that the things that we do are bigger than us. It could be a small thing of just sharing my story, or just listening to someone, or just giving someone. One of the things that me and you have spoke about before, the knowledge that I have is not necessarily mine. If God has allowed me to have the ability to do different things, to be able to learn different things, why not share it? So I guess that's the thing that has always worked for me.
Yeah. So you talk about God providing you the ability to learn certain things. What's one key thing that you have learned, whether it's through experience, whether it's through reading, knowledge attainment through somewhere? What's one of the key things that you have been given the opportunity to learn, that you know and have learned, that it was really for others, even though it may also be for yourself?
To be able to rest, allow God to be that refuge, to be able to rest and to have that peace. One of the things that I spoke about earlier this year is, being able to press that pause button on things, because ultimately, we want to help. I'm a helper. I'm a helper. I'm a giver. But ultimately, everyone belongs to God. So, sometimes you have to just, take your hands off of things and just trust that God is going to lead you through it. So, to be able to use Him as a refuge, beginning of Psalm 46, God is a refuge and a strength. So, I guess that would be the biggest thing.
And was that lesson learned in your illness?
No, it wasn't. It was actually learned when my father became ill, going on 20 years ago. I was actually reading that scripture when I found out that he had a heart attack. I was actually studying, and it was actually Psalm 46. God is a refuge and a strength. And ever since then, I just had to just continue to lean on God's word to be able to push through life.
That's huge. I mean, that's just a huge lesson. I think so much as leaders, we find ourselves desiring one to help. I think that every leader who is worth their mustard in leadership, they're grounded in the desire to help others or help something. But to be able to rest in the fact that I don't have to do it alone. It's really not all about me, and my strength is not coming from me.
Exactly.
That's hard too, though, especially when you're a person who embraces leadership wholeheartedly. I'm supposed to be the strong one. I'm supposed to keep the team going, but are you?
Well, that's a lesson I had to learn. And, I was just like that, where I had to put everything together, help everyone, make sure that I, always showed up. One of the things that I would say has been my saving grace is the women around me in this season of my life. They will show up and make me sit down. You're laughing because you know a few of them. So, they will show up and make me sit down. But, I'm thankful for that because I believe that everything happens how it's supposed to happen, and to have instrumental people, even bullies like yourself, Dr. Renita. Um, oh, you thought you was gonna get away from that on this interview? No, 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 no.
Me a bully? Never that.
Yes, yes. So let's talk about this leadership thing. See, she's laughing very hard, y'all. She's laughing very hard. I took Dr. Renita's Leadership Academy probably 2 years ago. Now, I don't consider myself a leader, but she told me otherwise. I don't consider myself a leader,
How
but
do you lead? How do you own 5 businesses that where you work with other people? Like, okay, so you all, just so you know, you're getting the real with me and LaVon today. So that was my question. Like, how do you have 5 businesses? Five. And this, because these aren't new businesses. 2 years ago, she still had these businesses, you all. And you're working with all of these other people, and you're facilitating, you're instrumental in keeping these things going. Like I was befuddled about how she would tell me. And me before the course, actually, like right after the course too, she wasn't fully convinced that how you gonna tell me you're not a leader? This was my face often.
well, if you want to start telling stories about stuff, who comes to someone's house having a general conversation about other things in life, and just turns to you and just starts pouring, and just I felt if I could hide, I would go hide in the closet. I said, I'm just minding my business. And what was your response?
Your businesses.
Yeah, and then she proceeded, you know, she traveled. She traveled to New Jersey to see me, so I couldn't, kick her out. But I was ready to leave.
Yeah, she tried to run away from me at her old house. Please note, we live several states apart. It's not one or two. We're going from North Carolina to New Jersey. Even though, she a little bit probably knew this was going to happen, being that our very first encounter was full of encouragement and empowerment. And so she knew I would continue to encourage and empower her in person again.
That was such a creative way to explain our first encounter. But go ahead. I'll leave that alone. I will leave that alone. Okay.
She said I started bullying her from the moment I ever spoke to her. But and I'm gonna tell you, so her other bullies, who I'm sure are watching, and if you're not watching now, you're watching on the replay. Okay, she says we all bully her. This is very much love, encouragement, and empowerment. She just calls it bullying because she doesn't particularly always want it. So, leaders, sometimes your encouragement may be seen as bullying. So, you need to know your audience because where LaVon calls us bullies, and she knows that we love her a lot.
Yeah.
Um, Other people may see your encouragement as true bullying. So you need to know your audience. So where I giggle when she calls me a bully because I think it's hilarious because she too is a bully, which is hilarious to me. She does not see the things that she does to reciprocate the actions that come from others. But everybody who calls you a bully is not truly saying it in jest or in love. So make sure that your language and that you have a clear understanding of your audience. Where I receive leadership from LaVon, I know I also provide leadership to LaVon. So when she calls me a bully, I get that, yes, she does feel bullied, but it's not a bully and I'm about to call somebody to really come get you from my house. But then again, you may need to bully some people. Not in a negative way, but really strongly encourage them, even when they don't want to particularly see eye to eye with you. Sometimes you do have to push the subject because you understand and know your person well enough to know that I understand you're in a fire right now and you don't want to see this. You're in a fire right now and you don't want to hear this. But I'm about to tell you anyway because I love you. And in some respects, that could be considered bullying behavior. Yeah.
So that's gonna be our task to think of another word to express or to define your forcibly encouragement or your strong encouragement. You have to have another word. You're gonna think of another word. Maybe someone in the chat will be able to help us come up with another term for the relationship.
Very strong, not always desired encouragement.
Yes, we're gonna think about that one.
Yeah, so if you have one in the comments, please share. We will be happy to potentially incorporate that in our language in the future. And I might even put up a poll to see who the people think or what the people think would be the best word for it. So feel free to fire us off like 15. It's fine. We won't be mad at it. But it's true. It's true. So, I mean, sometimes, especially when you're in a fire, it is hard to hear love. It is hard to hear the truth because sometimes our fires are self inflicted. Sometimes we set the fire that we're in. I mean, I can think of some things that I probably have said or done to people that has triggered a fire that then I had to deal with and figure out either how to douse myself or get somebody else who was more knowledgeable or had better equipment to douse it for me. And some of those fires I regret starting, some of them not so much. But leading in a fire is not always easy. But I think, so I'll ask you about this. So one of the fires I feel like some leaders create is the fire of telling other people that you're not a leader.
See, did y'all see the eyes? Did y'all see the eyes? Okay, so imagine. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize. Go ahead.
But, so as you all have heard, LaVon did not consider herself a leader. And I think that when you're dealing with other people who are desiring leadership and you're in a place of leadership and you refuse to acknowledge said leadership position, that is a fire. So I will ask you, in all the years that you led, prior to finally acknowledging your leadership superpower, how did you do that?
I think it was a matter of everyone that I've worked with or that I do work with, I try to walk alongside of them because I'm going to learn something from them also. So I think that never thought of it as being a leader, as bringing them to something or helping them get to the next level. It's just us working together to be able to get to that next level. So walking aside people, not necessarily feeling like I had to lead them and be before them. Everything that I'm building is basically through helping other businesses come up. So it's not necessarily that I'm leading them. We're assisting each other to go to the next level.
That is so beautiful. So I think that so this brings up the idea of multiple types of power. So when I was doing my dissertation, one of the things or ideas that I found was that concept of power over versus power with. Power over being that traditional picture of power, which in some regards is considered a very masculine way of leading, and it's to have power over. Like, I am the leader, you are the follower, and I am here and you are there. And because of that, you do what I say. I give you the power, the instructions from up and high, and you just follow it. Do what I say. Don't fool around and mess up, because that's not what the power told you. And then there's this idea of power with. And I think that understanding that this can exist really can help some people acknowledge their leadership superpower. Because that power with is that leader who is in there with the crew. Like, yes, you're a leader, but you're leading from within. And in that leadership, not only do you have power, but you're providing power to other people. And I think that when you think of traditional leadership models, which is the power over model, you do not consider that if you are within the pack and you are not the only person with any source of power, that means that there's no possibility that you are a leader. And that is just not true. Leaders lead from within all the time. If they didn't, there would be no teams. And there's always leaders in the team. And there does not have to be just one leader in the team. Titles be whatever. Within the team, there may be 52 leaders out of a team of 53. It's just one person who just won't do it. Not saying that they don't have leadership in the team. They just won't do it. So they are not a leader in the fact that they refuse to even acknowledge or activate their leadership power. But that doesn't mean that there's everyone else person is not a leader, and there may be a leader of the leaders. That was one of my favorite things about being a principal. I was a leader of leaders. And it's because I helped everybody activate their leadership superpower. Why? I'm not killing myself trying to run a whole school by myself. What kind of foolishness is that? So I think about, I've had the wonderful opportunity to work with LaVon as well. And one thing that I've seen her do is take an entire team of people and empower them all. It's like if all the light bulbs were out, she went and got a eco-size box of light bulbs and relit everybody. And this is what I'm empowering you to do, and I'm empowering you to do it, and I'm empowering you to do it. Do you, do you, do you. But in all of that, she was facilitating this empowerment session with us all. And that's what leader of leaders do. Did you know you were a leader of leaders?
No, I didn't. But I just thought of maybe a possible acronym for bully.
Oh, come on, acronym for bully. Hit us up.
Boldly and uniquely while loving you to lead you. Bold, unique, loving, leading you or to lead you. Just something off the top of my head. You can bring it together. Go ahead, Dr.
This is why she's a 10-time author. Did y'all see how quick she came up with that? That was on the spot. And we didn't talk about this beforehand.
So you work that out. Put it into a nice little phrase. You work that out because it is a bold leadership,
It's
and
bold.
and it's unique. It's loving, and it's leading you. So you're bullying me. So that's okay.
Ooh, this could be a good bully thing. Let's turn the term bully on its head. Not that bullying is ever okay. Like, okay, so this, all y'all out there that you're calling yourself leaders and you doing real bullying, be ye also ashamed. Be ye also ashamed. Yes, we are taking the word bully and we're making something positive out of it. But you bullying leaders, look, see this face? Stop it. People don't like real bullies. And sometimes that's a fire all in itself.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I've learned from working with people who led that way, knowing that I didn't want to be in that situation where it was just like, okay, this is that, and there was no flexibility in the process. And then when one pulls away, everything falls apart.
Yeah. And I
So
mean, that's that whole power over thing.
yes,
And I mean, sometimes you need to activate your power over. Sometimes it just has to happen. Like, so when I'm teaching, and we did this in Leadership Growth Academy as well, but I do this when I'm teaching classes too. We talk about different styles of leadership and your personal style of leadership, where you're most comfortable. But sometimes you got to pull these other leaders out your pocket. And so one of those leaders that you might have to pull out your pocket from time to time, don't let it linger though, because this could get ridiculous. But you got to pull that dictator out your pocket every now and again. So I think about as a parent, and I know you parents out there, maybe you have never considered a power with type leadership style with your children. But I'm gonna tell you why it works. Because we get tired of having to take responsibility and ownership over it all, right? Leaders in parenting, leaders in business, leaders in the classroom, leaders at church. We as leaders get tired of dealing with it all. LaVon, I would imagine that before you had a team that was really effective, I can only imagine running a publishing house and having to be the only leader who really owned it. That stinks. So, why do you do power with your kids? Because that provides them empowerment to own it, wherever it is. Their bedroom. Now, I know I told my kids, and I tell them regularly that they don't really have a bedroom, right? Because they pay for nothing. I have a bedroom that I allow them to sleep in. Why? Because I help pay the bills. They pay for nothing, so they really own nothing in this house. But let me empower you in this home at the same time. This is your space. You have been granted this space. It is yours. Enjoy it. But do you really want to be sloppy in your space? Do you want to be a dirt dauber in your space? No, let's own it. Because I'm not going to sit here and clean it for the rest of your life. No. I'm empowering you. Matter of fact, let me provide you with some tools. Let me show you how to fold your own clothes. Oh, hallelujah. Let me show you how to put clothes on a hanger. These are empowerment things that people just don't know you need. If you are still having problem folding, I will provide you with a folding board from the local Amazon to help you fold things in the way that I feel is acceptable. I'm giving you the tools. Leaders, because I found myself in a fire, because I have created a situation where I owned it so much and I didn't allow certain people in our household to own certain things because I owned it. And when I realized that I was the only person owning it, that means I was the only person dealing with it.
that's true.
And so I think about this in business. If you're the only person who you allow to have power, and everybody else has to be your flunky because they're powerless. If you're the only person powerful and you're the only person owning the stuff, who's going to deal with it all? Who's going to own when things are going left? You are. That is a fire like the other, and it's one that you started. You started that fire. If you refuse to give anybody else power, If you refuse to do what LaVon has been doing all of these years, and that's a walking alongside somebody, then you're the only person who owns it. You better put that match back in your pocket. Put it up. Put it up.
You mentioned, we're talking about the fires of life. I am thankful for some fires because some fires cleared the way for greater things. Some fires actually had to clear the way for some greater things. Some things have to burn off for you to be able to even refine something.
Come on, be refined.
To be able to refine some things. So I'm thankful for some fires, even the fires that come in my personal life, because for you to be a leader or to work in that capacity, even run a business, you have to be well within yourself. So when you start, because sometimes I don't know, for some other business owners, business can take precedence over some other things, and you start to neglect other things. So sometimes that fire has to, you know, put a fire underneath your behind to take care of you. Literally put a fire, because I actually took some time off and I paused to be able to, see what fires needed to keep on burning to things are destroyed, or the fires that you know there's a little extinguishing it. They're not that big, they're small, things like that. But I'm thankful for even the fire that I'm going through now, running a business amidst COVID-19.
That was that. Oh, can we take a pause right there though? COVID-19, the pandemic, coronavirus, or however you want to acknowledge her, uh, has been a fire.
Yes.
I mean, like a fiery furnace fire that
Yes.
we did not have a choice but to be in. How have you survived this?
I think it's the ability, like working alongside other people, to be able to grow your skills in other areas. Now, 15, 16 years ago, when I started dabbling in publishing, I didn't think that I would be where I am today. Working in media, working in management. One of the things is that one of the authors I was working with actually said that I should start a management company because I was already doing those particular things. And, during this time right now, it actually helped, to be able to be still. You're not running as much, you're not doing as many outside things. So it gives you the ability to really hone in on different skills. You know, I learned video editing, I learned how to, effectively produce a podcast and things like that. So I'm thankful for all those things. I expand my skill set. I've been able to help countless people start their own publishing companies. One of the things I always say to people when they say, "Oh, you're just going to tell me everything." Listen, there are so many people in the world. If you can get a million over here and I can get a million over there and somebody else can get a million over there, look, we all can eat. So if we all can eat, let's go ahead and work together. So during this time, it has been great to be able to help other people, go to the next level. And one of the things that I am excited about is to see someone's, thing come to fruition, after they work so hard and things like that. In an interview that I did earlier this year, it was talking about a legacy, you know, and I was working so hard to help so many different people and saying that, oh, I just want to leave a legacy, but I wasn't living one. So, it helps people writing a note down. It helped a lot of people during this time to be able to, go to the next level. And I've been working on some new book projects that, and actually come from behind. I've been talking about this for a while. I may need to talk to Dr. Renita later about this, but I'm supposed to launch my own website to even promote my own titles and the things, and share a little bit more about my journey of love, loss, dealing with health issues and things like that. So,
Y'all, you don't know how excited I am to hear that. Okay, we've been talking about that for a while. But Rewind. Yes, I took a note. Let's talk about leaving a legacy while not living one. That is real.
It is. It is. You. Well, I like I say we. I became preoccupied on what can I leave because I was one of those people. I didn't want kids of my own, so I borrow a kid and send it to the side. you know, I have I have many kids. None I gave birth to, but I also have the ones that I was able to send home when I got tired. Um, it's the truth. So the first publishing company is named after my father, which is his name was James. So it's just Samaj backwards. I mean James backwards is Samaj. So that was one of the things that I say. No matter what, I'll be able to leave that, and but I got preoccupied with business aspect of life and not allowing myself to live. So I existed within my business, not the business existing within me.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Let's talk about another fire that we start ourselves. But it's because we allow ourselves. So the business itself becomes a fire because it's consuming us. And sometimes it consumes more than we intended. We did not intend to be consumed in that way. Um, and we find ourselves attempting to rebuild those things that were consumed, and they will never be rebuilt the same way. And sometimes it's for the better, but sometimes it's not. And had we not allowed that fire to overtake us, which once again can be something that was beautiful, it could be something that was meant for our good, but we end up turning it for the bad because we become consumed with it. Um, we have to watch out for those fires as well. We talk about not becoming weary in good doing, but also don't become consumed by it either. Don't become consumed in good doing because it can, at that point, go to your detriment.
Yes. Yes, and that's one of the things that I think I came up with. So just like this is a real interview with Dr. Renita. My computer decides that it wants to automatically start dying on us. But I think we was getting too deep. It was getting hot in here. The
And the
fire
people
was
say,
starting.
hold up, we're not doing this. But
Listen,
yes,
we
we
not doing
are,
this.
because that's why
But
God made plugs.
yes, so really getting consumed with the work, and it actually started to take a toll because regular work, especially when it's yours, you don't have regular work hours. Your work hours are you're never off. Let me just rephrase it. You're never off. Even when
Right.
you're even when you're on vacation, you're still thinking about business to some aspect of like, or especially if you're a creator, you are like, oh, you see something like, oh, I could do something with that. Maybe I can use that for something. Like I just set up here and made an acronym for bully. Like it's just the craziness of things. So, Dr. Manita, take me off camera 1 second so that I could plug this up.
Okay, go ahead. So what we'll recap here for a second. One, let's watch ourselves and being consumed by the things that we create. I think about it. I don't know how many times I've brought this up on this here Leadership Live, but the show Hamilton, and it talks about you'll always be loved by the things that you create. But we find the character of Alexander Hamilton in that show becoming so consumed by creating, and in his mind also creating this legacy to his detriment. He became consumed by it, and he did not get to fully live out the legacy that had been handed to him, or to be a living legacy. So, as leaders, we do desire to become living legacies. Don't miss that boat. Don't miss that boat. Don't become consumed by all of these things that you're creating to the point where you lose the life that was created for you to live. So, leaders, we're going to encourage you today to be a living legacy by living fully within the legacy of life that you have while creating a legacy that will forever positively impact others. And I think LaVon's ready for us again. Yes, she is. Yes,
Yes,
she
yes, yes. I apologize for that. Thought I was fully charged when we started. I think it got just too hot in here. I don't know.
is.
because because anyone that is watching this know that this is totally outside of my comfort zone, like being on camera, just talking about myself, so it has to be love with Dr. Renita, but also, being in this season of my life, knowing that it's important for me to share my story. I've been through numerous surgeries. There have come points where, you know, I'm a believer. I believe in miracles. There are points where, doctor's reports do not show who LaVon is. And I even joke with them about things in reference to, I'm like, listen, I understand what that paper says, but she's laughing. I understand what that paper says, but it's nothing. Be able to push forward because based off of paper, I should have been dead a long time ago. But ultimately, but God, and I'm not. He's not done with me. So when I say that this is always bigger than me, and not considering myself a leader until Dr. Renita course, and I'm still struggling with it. She knows that I still struggle with the title of leader. I just want to be able to walk alongside and encourage people with the things that we produce. From the publishing company to the nonprofit. It is all to empower people. I'm not knocking any other publishing or any genres, but most of the books that we put out are something to be able to help someone go to the next level in their life because you know one thing that my father always said that knowledge is the thing that no one can ever take from you. So if I can learn something from you and you can learn something from me, we're forever growing, and there's no limits to what we can do. So
Absolutely. I mean, that's really the purpose of Leadership Live. For this is week 32, now 32 weeks. We've been pouring, we've been sharing, we've been leading, we've been growing people. That's why we do what we do. But it's also through the lens of leadership. I mean, all these wonderful leaders, and they're leaders in their own regard in so many different avenues. And, even for you to say, I have many children, I birthed none, but I have many children, that that in itself is a leadership avenue. How many young people, now not so young people, have you grown?
I cannot keep count. I love that my goddaughter is an entrepreneur. My niece, who's turned 10 last week, she's an entrepreneur. She just launched her new business. So to be able to, show young women, I grew up in the projects, and I never say anything about where you grew up and things like that. But there were a lot of stereotypes on me growing up in reference to how far I could go. And one of the things that I always say, even in leadership and regular life, you determine what success means to you. You define that according to what you want. My success was not having um, 5 kids, a picket fence, and a puppy. Like that wasn't that wasn't my thing. That wasn't like my goal and things like that. I always wanted to help people, and that's what I pray to God that with this life and this time that He gives me, that I'm able to do those things. So you know my goddaughter has her own business, my cousins, but it didn't start with me. My grandfather was an entrepreneur. We saw that early on in life. He had a regular 9 to 5, but he still made way for us to, at young age, 14, 15, 16 years old, to be able to make money by showing us how to do inventory, how to be able to invest and to reinvest to be able to move forward. So I can't say it came from me, but I plan on to keep on watering that seed that he planted, you know, many, many
But
years ago.
we talk about being a living legacy.
Yes.
That legacy was left for you and you live it out loud. And so you cannot discount the fact that your niece and your goddaughter have watched you as an entrepreneur be successful because your success language is helping others. Ta-da, you've done it. And you continue to do it. They see that. They see that legacy of goal attainment. They see the legacy of success. They see the legacy of entrepreneurship. And they say, oh, Auntie LaVon did it. I think I could do that too. And not only do I think I can do that, Auntie LaVon has told me that I can do it, and she's showing me how. Legacy,
Yes, ma'am.
legacy. Okay. So we've talked about all kinds of fires and things today, but I will say this. So we are rounding up our time. If there was one more piece of knowledge that you would want to leave with the people today, what would it be?
Live. Just simply live in the moment. Like, we plan so far ahead that we forget to live in the moment. We we just like, even as business owners, you be like, I gotta get this business plan. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do for the next quarter. I'm gonna do that. But we can get so caught up in planning that we really miss the present moment, to be able to see the sun shining, or to be able to take a walk, or be able to just catch your breath. And I think running a business, living life, and dealing with a lot of things, the fires of life, I learned that near 40 years old, that we gotta just take advantage of the moment.
Wow, that's huge. That's a leadership choice. I mean, we talk about life leadership, we talk about business leadership, wherever you lead, however you lead, choosing to live. So, one thing I remember, this was years ago, and this was probably like 2017 at Refining the Mind Women's Conference, which is coming up September 25th. As I am also the founder of the Refining Life. Hello, I forgot to say that today in the intro. But one thing I asked people to do was to put their cell phones down and not record. Not because we didn't want things recorded, but because I wanted them to live in the moment and not live through what they saw in the phone. And so, I mean, yes, it's live, but you're still missing the what's actually happening right there because you're still looking at it through the phone. And people were like, "Ooh, you're talking about some moments of conviction." Because we want to capture everything to be able to experience it again later, but you never experienced it the first time if you're constantly looking at life through the cell phone, looking at life through the camera. You're not actually experiencing it. You're too busy capturing it.
Exactly. I totally agree with that. And that is part of the reason why, if you ever try to search for a photo of me, it's hard to find.
I wonder.
No, because one of the things that I said early on in life was that um, a photo can be destroyed. But if you close your eyes and you see me, I want you to see me for me, not for that piece of paper that you hold in your hand, or something that you can see on the screen. Because that emotion is something that you can carry with you forever. If you ever lost a picture, I don't want you to be so attached to something that is um, physical that you forget the emotional.
Right, right.
I
And
have,
while I embrace that,
yes.
all of my local New Jersey photographers, I need one of you all to get with my girl LaVon. I just want her to get one headshot. I'm not asking a lot. I just need one. So, and I'm not going to live my life through that because I have had the LaVon experience and will continue to have it. But I need somebody to get a headshot of my friend. That is a business move that I'm making right. It is not going to be a fire. It's going to be a lovely capturing of a lovely soul.
So I did do a photo shoot in April, but we'll
But
talk about that later.
where are the
We,
as
we
you all can see, we mess with each other all the time.
yeah, we done showed the people all our craziness already. So
But I will say this, so LaVon, there are many people who are saying, "Oh my goodness, I need to connect with her. She is a 10-time author. I need to know what some of what she knows. She owns a publishing house. She is a manager and she does all these other things. I want to encourage people. I live in the New Jersey area. I'm trying to grow women. Something they want to connect with you. How can they do that?
So I would say the best way, you can just give me a call. Either of these two numbers, they both come directly to me. It's 201-243-3700 or 1-866-923-LFMG. So that's 1-866-923-5364. And just leave me a message and I will get back to you. You can also text those phone numbers.
So how many times on Leadership Live have you got somebody's phone number? You all better take advantage of it. You get an email, you get a website, but this you done got a phone number. Take advantage. She's offering you this opportunity. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. LaVon, I would like to thank you so much. You have given us so much tonight. You are so amazing. Yes,
Thank
you are.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And everyone out there, once again, I want to thank you as well for being a part of this experience because without you, there is no Leadership Live. We need somebody to watch it. I'm glad you did that. You made a choice to spend time with us this evening. You made a leadership decision to grow and shift your mindset so that you can be more positive and productive in the future of your leadership journey. And I want to say thank you. And as I have shown you and proved to you for now for 32 weeks that I will not let you down with my amazing guests. Once again, this evening we've had LaVon Featherstone, but week 33 next week, I'll be right back here Monday night at 9 p.m. with another amazing guest. So be ye also ready. And I love you, love you, love you. And always, I'm going to encourage you to keep your leadership all the way live. I'll see you next Monday. Bye.